welcome to the Galactic Mayan Weather Report. Welcome back if you are used to these reports, and welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Kelly Rowland, and together we are tracking the 13-day cycles of the Mayan Dreamspell calendar, Mayan astrology. So today begins a brand new 13-day cycle within the archetype of the white wind. Now, we have just emerged from a 13-day cycle within the energy of the red moon. So we're emerging from 13 days of water, flow, and purification. So now purification can be really liberating, and sometimes it can be exhausting. The process of detoxing, the process of letting things go, letting things flow out of your life that are no longer supportive, and creating space for the flow of things that do support you. But we're now in the white wind, and the white wind brings us the gift of air, the gift of breath, the gift of spirit, coming to breathe the breath and dry out what we have drenched in the oceans of clarity and realization. So maybe you're feeling like you're still a bit damp. Maybe there's some things in your life that still feel wet and heavy, whether it's your clarity around a relationship or your clarity around movements in your career. It's like we're emerging from this baptismal water, but we're not really sure of where we're going. But we're in this space where the winds are taking us, and there's fresh opportunity in the air. And as synchronicity will have it, this is extremely linked up to the current new moon that we are experiencing, which is a new moon in Gemini, which is this fresh burst of life in the way that we express and communicate, looking at our life from a set of fresh eyes. We are not who we used to be. There has been a lot of karmic baggage being shaken off and forced off of us, to be perfectly honest. And we're in a space now, baptized and fresh and clean, and deciding, where do we want to go? And it can be very vulnerable to be in this pure state, to be in this confused state of what's next. But there is so much to be had here. There is so much to be had here because there is so much that has been let go. Whether you know it consciously or not, there are massive shifts going on right now in the collective scheme of things, and you are a part of that. So take a moment now and ask yourself, what have you been letting go of? What have you really shed from your life? What have you let wash away? And are you still washing away the remaining remnants of? And also, what are you making space for in your life? Even if you don't fully know what that looks like, and this Wavespell brings us into this encapsulated moment of time where our future self is reaching out to us and says, can you hear me? He or she is dancing in the winds, speaking through the eyes of strangers, hidden in the grass and in the chirping of the birds. There is fresh potential. There's so much fresh potential for you and for your life and for your trajectory. So this white wind, it is all around us always. And it's the power of being present enough to hear the communication that is always going on. You want to know your soul purpose. You want to know why you're on this planet. You want to know who your soulmate is. Listen. It's in the listening that we find the answers. And it's in the listening that we receive the communication that wants to come through us, that allows us to attract that which will bring us what we're seeking on a conscious or unconscious level. So how can we open ourselves up to more listening? For this Wavespell in particular, for the next 13 days, I would say the number one remedy is to get into nature and to get into silence. Silence with yourself and silence with the world around you. Now, whether you're lucky enough or fortunate enough to live where there is abundant forest and nature and rivers and streams, or whether you live in a city and your version of nature is going to your nearby park and putting your back up against a tree. Nature does not discriminate, and nature is to be had everywhere. So finding yourself in nature, taking time to just close your eyes and feel what you feel happening around you. What noises do you hear? What sounds can you hear? And then become aware of the sounds that are within your own being. How does the lull of your breath sound? And what does it feel like and sound like when you brush your hand against your skin? Can you hear that subtle sound of your fingers brushing against the hairs on your arm? Can you feel and can you hear that connection within your own body to life moving around you? And it's from this present, pure awareness that life can open up for us in so many fantastic and incredible ways. And all of the clarity we're wanting and the insight we're wanting, it can be had in these moments of presence. Pure presence with nature, which connects us back to the spirit wanting to communicate through us in each and every moment. Because we are a part of nature. We're advanced flowers. We have the ability to uproot and move, but we have these energetic roots going deep into the earth. And there's communication going on always. But if we're plugged into communication that is not serving our truth, if we're plugged into the communication of our cell phones and to radio waves and to busy streets and cars and loud TV screens, of course it's going to be confusing to hear your intuition. But if you plug in to the true TV, to the true source of nature, of the wind, of the ocean, of the sun, the sound of the sun rays, or the sound of the birds and the bugs and the ground, you will connect to your true sound. You'll find your true rhythm, and that will connect you to spirit. And from that connection to spirit, you can find what authentically wants to move through you. And it will no longer be a question of, who am I supposed to be? I've let go of so much karma from the past, and now I'm unsure of how I'm supposed to move forward. You don't have to know all that. You don't have to make it a head game. If you plug into source, if you plug into nature and this pure existence of spirit, the communication will come through you in the way that you can best serve yourself, but also how you can best serve the planet. Whether it's your community, your relationship, your children, your pets, or your organization, or your company, or the world, whatever is your path. So what brings you closest to spirit? That's the second question I want to ask you for this 13-day cycle. Nature, yes, that's one for me, and I could say it very confidently that it could be a collective one because nature is so soothing for all of our souls because we are nature. But for you uniquely, what brings you closest to spirit, to that powerful, true communication of who you are? So before we go and we journey off into the winds and the winds blow us in all of our different directions, I'm going to pull a tarot card for us to reflect on together and to gain some more insight and reflection about this 13-day cycle. And the card that we've pulled is the 10 of Wands. So I see this card as being on a powerful spiritual journey. Maybe you can relate to this. You're on a powerful journey of spirit right now. It's taking a lot from your spirit. And it may be challenging, and it may be squeezing you, or it may be expanding you in ways that you've never felt before. But this journey doesn't have to be hard. When we're on a spiritual journey, we can describe it as hard, or challenging, or difficult. Or we can see it as, this is making me stronger. This is building my soul power. This is empowering me and enriching me in a way that I'm going to be so grateful for later down the path. So how can I see the blessings in this journey? And how can I surrender my forceful will to also listen to spirit and to receive and to surrender to the communication coming my way? To trust when it's time to kick it into gear and run, and to trust when I need to take some time off and just settle and relax. Explore, play. The spiritual journey is never ending, and I think we can get caught up in thinking that there's a destination, and when we get to this place, it's all going to be great and we're going to be done. But that doesn't seem to me like it's the nature of life. I feel it's a continual evolution. So how can we enjoy this hero's journey that's happening right now? Taking us from where we have been, reaching out to our future self, embracing that and integrating that, and then carrying on to the next amazing journey that there is to be had. So whatever you are journeying through, wherever you are in this wild, lovely world, I send you so much love. The seagulls here send you love as well. And I'll see you on the next Wavespell report. So much love from my heart to yours in Lakesh.